Alrighty, we're back to the Trimet board, and we just saw Dave Bouchard, and let's see what other action and adventure they have in store.
The new administrative fair enforcement program that the legislature gave us that we asked for.
Oh, they asked for it.
I think it is going to be a good improvement. And so if I got this right, you're asking for a lower initial fee and to take a look at it, see if we have warning, can reinstate a warning citation or whatever it is in it.
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll have a dialogue about those issues when we get into that, I'm sure. So thank you for your input.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they'll have a dialogue.
Is Pete Colt not here?
They're talking about ordinance 347, but they want to talk during the
Okay, all right.
You can hear him whispering.
Well, then the next two are Evan Moore and Charles Orniski. I can't pronounce the last name here, but Ormsby. That's what it is. Thank you very much.
I couldn't get it. Must be good handwriting.
Hi.
Mr. Ormsby, are you here? Oh yeah, there he is. Great.
Where's Mr. Ormsby? Let's see who we got here. Here he comes.
Should I start? Well,
Please go. Yeah, you're
All
fine.
right.
Yeah, go there. Hurry up. They don't have
Good morning,
time.
directors.
We don't have time for this shit.
My name is Avon, and I'm also a member of Bus Riders Unite Local Environmental Justice. I am. Can you hear me? Okay.
You bet.
Sounds weird. So I'm also here to comment on the memo. I think it's great that you're moving forward with changing the way that you do fare evasion citations. I'm also really looking forward to the low-income fare later in the program. I want to echo David on this. I do think that there's a lot of space for looking into reinstating the warning system and for having a lower fare. And one of the first things that sort of jumped out at me when I was looking at the 2017 fare evasion survey results is that it seems like the entire, with the exception of the encouraging people to enroll in low-income fare or honored citizen programs, it seems like the entire purpose of the citation as it's set is to capture less than a third of the people who are riding without fare. And I feel like there's, if you look at your own data, it looks like there's a lot of reasons that people would be riding without a fare that would be better addressed with a warning system, or at least with, a less punitive fare. If you look at, the second most common reason, it's forgot to validate mobile app ticket, 27%, which is kind of interesting because later in the memo,
Right.
this is cited as sort of knowingly riding without fare, but the question, as it appears to have been phrased, is forgot, as in like not knowingly. Something to look into, I think. And then you've got people, riding without an ID, people who thought it was valid, people who forgot to validate their paper ticket.
Yeah, no
It
kidding.
just seems like a first-time warning would be more appropriate for the majority of quote-unquote offenders in this system.
Offenders, yeah.
There's something else that I wanted to
It's a system
highlight
of
about
entrapment
this,
is what it is.
Community service is great as long as if it's intended as an alternative to a punitive system, community service is great. But I think you'd have to look into what kind of community service people are doing, because I think if you're cleaning up sidewalks for the Portland Business Alliance, that effectively is a punishment. It's not necessarily.
Oh wow, they're going to privatize.
It's doing
So they're going to privatize
as punishment for
the Trimet
riding without a fare.
criminal industrial
you'd be
complex for the private sector.
Positivity around a community service program if it were something like being able to volunteer at a nonprofit that provided direct services to members of the community.
I don't know about you, but the whole idea that evading a $2.50 fare should be punished by these particular things that they're talking about is abomination. It's an abomination that we as citizens are allowing this to happen, okay? And yet we can't do anything about this abomination. This is ridiculous, okay? Make the goddamn shit free and get rid of this ridiculous complex they have here. This is a human industrial waste complex. They're sweeping up people into this, and it's for $2.50. This is really an abomination.
That's pretty much all I had to say. I just think that it's really worth looking at the actual, data that you're getting out of the survey and trying to figure out what it means for the majority of riders who are a part of this system that you're creating.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, well, I
Mr.
think
Ormsby, sorry, I couldn't read your name there.
Should have been more hard on them for this.
No problem. Thank you very much, Trimet Board of Directors. My name is Charles Ormsby. I go by the nickname Skip. I live in Clackamas County within the Lake Oswego Urban Growth Management Area on the northeast quadrant of Lake Oswego. Our community, Birds Hill CPO&A, straddles both Highway 43 and the Willamette shoreline, which Trimet owns. I'm here on a number of matters that have arisen, some in the last 24 hours, some in the last 8 weeks. It is quite concerning. First off, I want to say this is the first time I've been in this building in about 40 years. A slight difference from what it was. Memorable machine here at that time was a printer and had one of the most key instructions that's kept my digits intact through industrial engineering and manufacturing engineering of aircraft. And it said, there's a quote from Rudyard Kipling it was put on the line printer at that time right above the print surface. It said, who knows what evil lurks in the heart of this machine.
So, who is this guy?
Just a waypoint here. My mother is in the back of this room. She's age 103.4, and she'll be 103 and a half at the end of January of 2018. Anyway, let me get into my issues here. House Bill 2017. I've noticed your packet. It does touch on a number of things. There needs to be a higher degree of integration on the west side of the west bank of the Willamette River, because my neighbor is going to be dead set in the target zone of that because of the potential tolling on I-5 and I-205. It brings up a number of issues that are currently evolving. Most notably, that motivated me to come to this meeting today is the issue of the intersection of Highway 43 and B Avenue in Lake Oswego. This is point 6.04, and Highway 43 is what I will refer to. It's also known as State Street. The problem for Trimet right now, and has been since 1983, is the transition of southbound buses of Trimet around that corner on the northwest corner of that intersection to the Lake Oswego Transit Center, which became operational 1984 January. A lot of concern about that at that time in the Lake Oswego Council. They were not really involved in that process, according to the minutes I've read from 1983. For the first time in Trimet's history, that corner is owned by the city of Lake Oswego. Frankly, they've not communicated with Trimet planners and ODOT to my personal satisfaction to enable safe turning of buses around that corner. Currently, it's a 20-foot radius, I believe, and it should be increased to accommodate your new fleet things of Trimet buses and potentially articulated buses. On that corner, Lake Oswego wants to put what they call a boutique hotel with age-restricted apartments, essentially to keep, quote, the riffraff out of Lake Oswego, the low-income people. So that needs to be addressed immediately. They're on a fast track. They're on a mission. Frankly, I won't say what it's a mission. They want to get it going. They're doing every shortcut of every citizen involvement process. Trimet needs to step in and educate them immediately. I cannot understate this. I will complain to whatever government agency it takes.
So what the heck's going on in Lake Oswego? Anybody have any idea? Because so they want to put a hotel in, I guess, at the corner of somewhere, and he's worried about the buses going around the corner, and somehow he needs Trimet to get involved in this, and this is really some strange testimony here.
FHWA, everybody, all the way to Congress.
What?
I am incensed at the lack of their coordination, the lack of their understanding of Trimet vernacular, and a whole host of other issues, and frankly, their disrespect of lower-income people such as myself. I'm an X number of heartbeats away from being out of my mother's house of some odd 60 years.
Oh, geez.
Also, our neighborhood needs to communicate with Trimet better and have a citizens advisory committee with the Willamette shoreline. Issues have evolved in California in the last 2 weeks, especially with wildfires. I'm hyper concerned with this. In short, how do you do fire protection on that line, and also the railroad line through Lake Oswego as well? To demonstrate some of these things, I want a bus rodeo of Trimet.
He's going over this 3 minutes significantly. Boy, this guy's really something. He's really... Who is he? Come on.
Administrators, board, Lake Oswego City Council, Clackamas, whoever it takes to impart the knowledge of what Trimet bus drivers go through in making that turn.
I wonder what, I don't know
bus
what
stop
that
configuration
turn is.
report, make it active on your thing. Also, I need spec sheets of Trimet vehicles, again, to communicate Trimet vernacular to planning entities, to neighborhoods, and align that
What the heck,
vernacular
man?
with land use and transportation issues. They're also on line 35, if you don't know, Clackamas County wants to build a new circuit court to replace an 80-year-old building. I'm just sort of giving you notice. I think the Oregon City Transit Center is going to have to be moved from its current location up to the Red Solis District campus area, because what's going to be left in downtown Oregon City, and also there's an example trip for the legal community from the Oregon State Bar on Southwest on Cruiseway in Lake Oswego to the Red Solis District, Clackamas County headquarters. Currently requires about 2 hours. I don't think a lot of people in the legal community would like that.
All right,
And
well,
I'm just saying stuff should be addressed in that when that is relocated, especially for the people that will attend that building, and a number of services that will have to be moved out of what is referred to as downtown Oregon City up to that campus area. That is not being considered.
He's
in the
gone
immigration
over
plans
his
on this,
time,
especially in the
Warner.
hospital enabling that legislation. Thank
way
you.
over it.
All right, thank you very much. That's a lot of information you've got.
I'll have to
That's
put
a lot
this
of
in writing.
information.
Please do. That would be very helpful.
It's
There were a lot of
and I do want some follow up on some of these things. It's I haven't been in a Trimet
Warner's
board
like,
meeting in about
get out of here. We don't
6
know what.
months.
Where'd you come
A
from?
lot of stuff has evolved in the last 3 months, and it's overwhelming to me myself. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate some of that writing. That'd be very good. Thank you for coming this morning. I appreciate it.
I appreciate some of that writing. Like what the?
All right,
like what the hell are you? What are you? What are you talking about? Oh, I didn't think there was any testimonies.
Okay.
All right, what do we got now?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Matt Cato. I'm
Where the hell
Director of
are
the
you?
Office of Life, Justice, and Peace for the Archdiocese of Portland.
Oh, he's
it's a social justice element
church
of our
guy.
Catholic faith.
church guy, right?
Please
there.
indulge me as I start by a quote from Pope Francis. The quality of life in cities has much to do with systems of transport. Many specialists agree on the need to give priority to public transportation. Yet some measures needed will not prove easily acceptable to society unless substantial improvements are made in the systems themselves.
Is he talking about bus
A
lanes?
new low-income fare program is one such substantial improvement.
Yeah.
Transit is a great leveler. Transit is colorblind.
Colorblind.
Rich and poor benefit from mass transit. But poverty is not a great leveler. Poverty is not colorblind. No one benefits from poverty. We have more than 14% in our area who
Actually,
are
that's
poor.
not true.
Unless you're...
Of course, people benefit from poverty. The rich do. Where do you think they get their money from? They have the money that other people don't have. Get it?
Latino, then that's 22%. Unless you're black, then that's 27% who are poor. So for many who are poor, mass transit is the only way for them to get to work, to community college, to grocery stores, to doctors. They ride our buses because they are bus dependent.
Yeah.
And when you're counting pennies, every dollar matters a lot.
Right.
Cutting the cost of adult single-use and day passes in half can save a struggling family a lot of money. For them, it's a lot of money. And I applaud this program. It's an excellent start. I hope that you can extend that to the monthly pass, the same discount.
I think they did.
I especially
Didn't they?
commend you for setting the standard at 200% of the federal poverty level. The federal poverty level is a half-century-old, outdated model that bears no resemblance to what it really costs to live. So again, every penny counts, and when you're giving the poor who are bus dependent a break and letting them save $1 a day, $2 a day, you're making a significant difference. So I ask you please to adopt this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Greg Baker. Is this still on? Can you hear that? I'm the executive director of the Blanchet House of Hospitality.
Oh, Blanchet House.
And I echo and support what was just stated in terms of these bus passes. As you know, the Blanchet House has been in this community for some 66 years. And we have been feeding the poor and taking care of the poor, housing the poor, and making certain that these men who graduate from our programs can go forward. We work with some 7,000 volunteers and do some 330,000 meals.
Yeah, I've never seen this guy before, but the Blanchet House, we all know where that is, right? And that does do good stuff for people. So it's interesting to see somebody come from there after all these years. There's the director of the Blanchet House.
Each and every year. It is very, very difficult often for us to see the individuals on the street and know that the future for those individuals may be a long time coming. And so what we try to do is to help them through transitional living, to get a restart, to better improve their lives so that they can go forward and be productive citizens. We work with some 58 men downtown in our clean and sober facilities, and we have 22
58.
men in our farm out in Yamhill County.
Oh, they got a farm?
We have case managers who help to
They've
change
got a
lives
farm.
through
I
a
like
life
that.
plan. We use your services in terms of bus fare to get our guys back and forth to work. As you may or may not know, the recent statistics say that in the city of Portland, some 4,100 people are now on the streets publicly. And if you read the HUD's latest report, this is at a relative cost of about $40,000 per person. That's $161 million that we have on the street and we're supporting as taxpayers. And so part of our concern here is that, we're asking people to look at this and see how we can remove these individuals from the street, help them to find adequate housing, jobs, and places to live and get a restart. What you're doing in this community by providing any transportation is very, very important. But I urge you to continue to do that and to visit with agencies like ours so that you can understand a little bit better how this works and what the impact is truly on these individuals that you're making these passes available for. Thank you so much.
Thank you both for coming. Appreciate it. Your work in the community is
Okay.
very valued, and thank you.
Personal invitation, Merry Christmas to all of you. Please come over and have lunch with me.
All right.
Thank you.
They're not going to go to Blanchet House and have
All right, I have
lunch.
two
That
more,
bunch here.
Maria Hernandez, and then I have Councilor Sam Chase from Metro, and I had you sign it. I thought you might be testifying later, but I think you're coming up now. Is that correct? I see him coming up. All right.
Oh, you're going to give him priority. He's a honcho. Or she is. Who is it? Who's who?
Hi all. I finally got Maria right. Last time I was Mario. Anyways, my name is Maria Hernandez.
Maria,
I'm the
Maria.
advocacy coordinator at Opal Environmental Justice Oregon. By now you should know that Opal works with low-income folks and organizes individuals to take action for what are the issues that impact them in the first place. In addition, man, this is weird. In addition, you also know that when solutions come from community and develop a sense of collaboration between Trimet and just generally any institution or stakeholder involved in the process, good solutions come out of that. And I actually want to take a second and applaud Trimet and more specifically give thanks to Eric, who has been engaging folks when it comes to the House Bill 2777 in the right way.
Yeah, the Trimet.
And I'm here.
Rah, shish boom bah. Trimet. We love you.
Here today, in addition to applauding Trimet for accepting the recommendation of House Bill 2777 that came out of Bus Riders Unite and among other leaders and other members of community to add the work group who is now looking into the process of what this new fair administrative system could look like. I'm here to ask you all to follow through and recognize that when you involve community, you must involve community all the way through the process of implementation.
Well, I think she's pretty good on it, don't you, as a speaker? Man, she's definitely, I know I shouldn't say this with all this stuff going on, but this is my blog. I mean, she's cute, and she speaks good, and she's bilingual. So that's three winning points for her.
Proposals that come from community are oftentimes overlooked when it comes to the development, and when it comes to the implementation, they are left behind. Our members and communities, we've been engaging them for quite a while now, and we recognize that what comes out of the work group is a huge step, and we are very happy. Can it go farther? Absolutely. So I won't echo as much as what has already been said, but I'm here to ask you all that as you look at this proposal, you look at the proposal that comes from community, by community, and that it will be for community. As mentioned, transit riders don't only depend on you, depend on the system. They depend on it for livelihood. So it's not something that they have a choice to just say, I'm not going to use transit today, etc. So lastly, like I said, I want to take into consideration the timing, but I will submit my written comments, because I also have other comments in regards to House Bill 2017, and also in regards to the oversight committee that you're looking into that process. So again, please consider the recommendation that comes.
See, now the House Bill 217 committee, people like this one right here has to be on that committee. Okay, now if they're serious about accountability, there's somebody to put on there, not a bunch of McFarland hacks, somebody that actually cares about the way things are being handled.
Proposal on House Bill 2777 that comes from community, and I'm happy to answer any questions in regards to that process. But again, thank you, and thank you, Eric, and thank you to all the community who really put analysis and feedback to
where'd
this
they get her?
And
never
I think
seen her before.
A new proposal can be even better for Trimet to actually take the lead and follow through all the way through. So, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Trimet, man, they love you. Trimet.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Sam Chase with Metro Council,
So
I really just wanted to take a minute to talk about the low-income fare work that
That's
you
Sam
have been
Chase
doing.
from Metro Council.
Would start with saying we are a thriving region.
We're thriving, all right, if you got money.
We have a very strong economy, but not for everybody.
Right.
A lot of folks don't have access to that economy and that quality of life, and creating more low-cost fares allows people to get around that region more effectively.
No kidding.
People to get to work, to access that quality of life, to access the services they need.
I don't understand. What is this, like grandstanding here? Because where were they talking about this before this? Okay, I remember Opal was talking about it, but where were all these city and county officials talking about it? You know, they just stuck that in the HB 217 because they had to give people something. You know, it's clipped $5.3 billion out of the citizens' pockets, so they're giving $12 million of it, which is, figure that out, it's not even 0.1%, I'm sure, to this low-income fare.
And you have stepped up, and I really want to thank Bruce Warner and Neil McFarland, John Gardner,
thank all of them,
TriMet, the board for supporting and really engaging in this process. Metro's job is to help support you in that work.
Oh yeah, by the way, in this same meeting coming in a little bit later here, TriMet is going to give, I know this because I've already gone through their actions before I watch this. They're going to give Metro $5 million. Okay, so maybe he's there to accept the prize. You know, maybe they'll give that guy a big check for $5 million and he can hold it up for the camera.
We are charged with helping make sure that transit is one of the fundamental components of our regional transportation strategy, and so we want to support you as much as we can, continuing to move forward. Your leadership has been fantastic on this.
You know, I generally don't cover the TriMet apologists that come up because, you know, they make me want to puke, and this guy's obvious. Well, he's one of them, man. This is what they call the, quote, jurisdictional partner here. These are all these levers of government. They're all government by other names, you see, but they're all government. He's one of them.
As this program launches, want to be as helpful as possible in making sure that we are getting the word out to folks, that folks are there, that folks are getting signed up, that folks
all right, shut up.
program, and that we're maximizing the number of people that get to take advantage of.
Yeah, we know. It's great.
Really great work that you are doing here on this program.
Send out some spam.
To come, and thank you for your efforts on this too. I know.
Shit, man. That's as far as all these testimonies took up the whole damn video. Stay tuned for part 3.